If you're a tattoo artist looking for longevity and you're also looking to stay out of our broken healthcare system, well, you're in the right place. I'm Jordan, the founder of the Tattooer Health Club. I'm bringing over a decade's worth of experience to pull back the curtain on our broken healthcare system so that you can be empowered to extend your career and tattoo at your best. And I'm doing that with the Tattooer's Guide series. So let's get started. All right, guys. Now, before we get started, I'm going to remind you and ask that you please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, because I know you're going to like what's coming, but you might forget to do it. So do it now for me quick. All right. I appreciate you and I acknowledge your time and for us to share space together right now. Hey guys, thanks so much for joining today's episode for step-by-step Ktaping for tattooers, a tattooer's guide for longevity. Today, we're going to be focusing on the wrist. If you're having thumb pain, go check out the thumb pain video. If you haven't checked out any of the videos in this series, go check out the foundations video you need to get started. If you've already checked out the foundations video, then heck yeah, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Alright guys, so in this video, we're actually going to be focusing on the wrist. I know I have my thumb taped because we just finished the other training for the thumb taping. So please like and subscribe to our page so that we can share this with more tattooers. Alright, getting right into it, I want you to point out this picture on the screen, and that's our step-by-step guide. Step 1, 2, 3 to start off. For this specific pattern, we're going to be looking on the back of our tape and identifying those solid blue lines. Those blue lines are going to be where we cut to create our pattern, all right? In this pattern, we're going to need 3 strips. 1 strip that has 2 boxes, and 2 strips that have about a box and a half, all right? So I'm going to suggest you cut your 3 box length first, making sure that you have a nice sharp pair of scissors. Me, I always use my spring-assisted scissors because it makes the palm work, not my fingertips. Now I'm going to take, like I said, I need 2 strips that are 1.5 boxes long. So I took my 3 box strip. I'm just going to slice that B down the middle. Now we have 2 of the strips that we need. Let's cut our 3rd. Now we need 1 that's 2 boxes, and it's going to make sense why it's 2 boxes in just a second. Now, what we're going to do, just like our Taxiderm, is that we need to round our edges. Rounding our edges stops the tape from getting snagged, caught on things during everyday life, if you're wearing the tape outside of work, or to avoid getting caught on things while you're tattooing, right? Changing gloves on and off. You don't want to be applying the glove and then the tape peels off, because that's counterproductive, right? It's not what we're here for. All right. Now, one little trick I do like to point out when you're cutting these little strips is to maintain your orientation on the tape. What the heck does that mean? Well, the tape stretches in a certain direction, right? It stretches this way, linearly, or I should say horizontally. It won't stretch vertically. So when you're applying the tape, if you lose your solid line and you're trying to apply it, it's not going to stick because you're not going to get the elasticity of the tape, which will make sense in just a second. So make sure you're staying oriented to what direction the elasticity of the tape is going to allow. And the simplest trick for that is just to look at the line. Make sure you're pulling the line this way, like with your fingertips apart, rather than having your fingers on the line. Super quick trick. Okay. We'll round all of our edges and we're ready to go. So the first thing that we're going to do is our snap and fold trick, where we're going to look at the tape and we're going to visually divide it 2/3 and 1/3. We're going to snap the tape by pinching it between our thumbs, and we're going to fold, man, because we're creating an anchor point to apply the tape to just make it easy. Okay, that's 1. Now, I'm orientating myself. It's very easy to get switched up here and to break the tape along the dotted line, but we need to orientate the solid line. And this is true for all K-tapes. Mine is the low-grade adhesive one that's specifically in the Tattooer Health Club, but there are other brands out there, and all of the brands follow this universal principle of these dotted lines and these solid lines. So now we're doing the fold aspect of the snap and fold. If you find that you're not having an edge to grab, slightly pull it a little bit. Give it a little elasticity, and then it's going to separate from the backing, okay? That's going to give you the opportunity to create said fold, okay? And I'll do it one last time. Snap and folder. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. Now, our next step is going to be the application. I'm a big fan of providing your first layer, your first application to the back of the wrist, and then applying them to the sides. So that's the strategy we're going to follow today. Now we're going to take our first piece of tape, and we skip step 3 because, well, step 3 is here. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to take the wrist, and we're going to start at the pinky side. I'm going to apply my anchor point directly on the pinky side of the wrist. I'm hands-free now. Nice and easy. Here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the 1/3 backing and apply it. And I want to make sure that the side of my wrist, the pinky side of the wrist, is completely covered by the tape. The next step is going to be coming around and applying the tape to the back of the wrist and the wrist joint under the thumb. Now I want to take a second here and I want to show you something that's wrong with this tape. We're purposely applying this tape incorrectly so that I can show you what to problem solve for. When we're supporting the wrist, it's important that we support both joints of the wrist, the pinky side and the thumb side. But can you see how when I applied the tape here, it's almost halfway in the middle of the wrist, and after the application, it didn't quite make it. What that tells me is that I wasn't far enough when applying the first anchor point. So having the knowledge of what is wrong is going to make it a little bit easier. So now let's do it the right way. Okay, so let's do that again. So now, like we said, we have our 1/3, 2/3 split. We're going to apply it to the wrist again, but I want to show you a trick. Because we were too far over, you can account for that by just coming farther to the front of the wrist, making sure that the tape is right in the middle of the wrist. We're going to apply the tape. You can see how I'm already much farther over on that first anchor point. Now we're going to flip the tape over and we're going to pull about mild to moderate tension along the back of the wrist. And once we get to the thumb, we're going to stop pulling tension. We don't want tension on our final anchor points. And there we go. Much better. You can see I have this side of the thumb joint and the wrist is included in the wrap, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to apply our second and third pieces of tape. So the first one is going to be right over the thumb. We want to make sure that we're going to remove our backing and we're going to place our first anchor point so that we incorporate the top of the thumb, massage down the tape, remove the backing, and we're going to pull it straight down over the wrist. Now this is going to give us a lot of support. It's going to give us a lot of alleviation of discomfort, and you're going to feel the stability immediately through that. Whew. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our final piece of tape on the pinky side of the wrist. This one's important because it's going to give us the final pieces of stability that we're looking for. Okay, so what I'm going to do is remove my backing, and then I'm going to apply it right above the existing tape that's already there. If you find that you're cutting it and you need more tape, we'll just add about a half or a full box for your application, because everybody is different. Everybody's bodies are different, and everybody's going to need slightly different lengths of tape to compensate, okay? So the goal here is to give you the fastest and easiest directions to apply your tape and to start working without pain. Now, once we've all the tape applied, I'm going to suggest that you tape one of the backings and you just apply it and rub it and anchor some of that tape down, because the rubbing is creating friction, and that friction is helping the tape stick even better. Excellent. Now, one trick and one modification that you can use in this process is putting the side strips down first if you feel like your tape is getting caught on gloves, on surfaces, on materials, just like you can see me backing that tape off. So more than one way to skin a cat. So just throw it out there. This application makes it easier to remove. Like we said, single-use K-taping, that's what we're talking about. So this strategy is specifically designed for easy removal. But the other option works just as good. Thanks for following along. If you found this educational, please like and follow, and we'll see you next time.